Hey folks, my name is Carl and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how to make a winning resume for Canada. And we're going to do that step by step. Now, if you're applying for jobs and getting no responses, it's probably because your resume isn't optimized for Canadian employers, right? But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know how to format your resume, what to include, what to avoid, and how to make it stand out. I'll also show you real life examples from IT and healthcare, plus a live demonstration of me drafting a resume so you can see exactly how it's done. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss my updates on life and jobs in Canada. All right, let's get started. All right, now first thing is to understand the Canadian resume format, okay? Now, one mistake that most people make or many newcomers make is using the resume format from their home countries to apply for jobs in Canada. Now, that might not work, okay? So in Canada, there are a few things you need to take note of when drafting your Canada resume. First off, your resume should be 1 to 2 pages maximum, okay? Unless you are in academia or in research, okay? But if not, try to make it 1 to 2 pages max, okay? Also try to keep it simple and professional. No fancy designs, photos, borders, or colors. Just keep it clean and professional, okay? Also, make sure you use the reverse chronological format for your work experience. That just means that you put your most recent job first, and we're going to demonstrate that very soon, okay? And also stick to the standard fonts. For example, you can use Arial fonts, you can use Calibri, or you can use Times New Roman. And for font size, you can use 11 or 12. I personally prefer 12, but you can use 11 or 12. And just make sure that your resume is also ATS friendly, okay? That is, it is formatted to get past those ATS softwares or the systems that the employers use for screening resumes, okay? Now, one question that many people ask is, what about a CV? Well, in Canada, a resume and a CV are different. I know it's kind of the same thing in most countries, but in Canada, there's a difference, right? A CV is a long and detailed, a version of a resume, right? It has everything. So it's long and detailed and used mainly in academia and research, right? But for regular jobs, my advice is stick to a concise resume, okay? Just stick to a concise resume, because using the CV style resumes might give too much personal info. And in Canada, you don't really need to include your date of birth, your marital status, your nationality, your religion, or even a photo, okay? But we're going to demonstrate that very shortly as we draft the two resumes I spoke about. Now, the first part of the resume is your header and contact information, okay? Now, in this section, you're going to put in your full name, you're going to put in your phone number, your email address, and you're going to put in your LinkedIn profile if you have one. If you don't have one, that's okay. And then you're also going to put in your city and province, okay? So we're going to be drafting two resumes, and we're going to be using different header styles for both resumes. And I just want you to tag along and see how it's done, okay? So let's get right in. As you can see here, my Word document is open. I'm just going to use a different font. Calibri is okay, but I'm just going to change it right here to Arial. I prefer Arial, and I can change the font size to 12, right? So in this section, I'm just going to put in my full name. Like I said, so I'm going to type Carl and then put QX as my full name, right? And then can hit enter, and then under that I'm going to put in my phone number, my email, my LinkedIn profile, and then my city and province, okay? So I can start with the city and province. It's better that way. So I'm going to Toronto, ON, and then I press shift and then the / to bring in this, and then I put in my phone number, so I can type this 123. Okay, shift again, and the / and then I'm going to put in my email address. So I'm going to put carlqx@com space again, shift and then the forward slash. And then I'm going to put in my LinkedIn profile. So linkedin.com. I'm going to do /in. Okay, so you can see that in this header, I have my full name, I have my city and province, I have my phone number, my email, and my LinkedIn profile. Now, you don't need to put in CV or resume in this part, right? I remember back then, many years ago, we would put CV off, then we put our name, or resume off. You don't need to do that, okay? Also, for the email address, make sure it's a professional one. No nicknames in your email address, right? Don't put those, nicknames there. It's not necessary. Also, here in the address, you can see that we put in just the city and province. You don't need to put in your full address, okay? And then your LinkedIn profile, just make sure it's updated. All right, so when you're done with this, you just press enter. Now you can put a line under this. Now, one quick way to do that is to put 3 dashes and press enter, and there's going to be a line there, right? You can also choose to put this in the center. So I'm just going to do this, press Ctrl E to center this, and then I can select my name and just make it a little bolder, right? So I can 18 is just too much. Maybe we can do 14 and make it bold. All right, so that's the header and contact info. Very simple, very nice, and very professional. Right now, like I said, we're going to be drafting 2 resumes. So this is one way to go about it. I'm going to open another document and show you a different way to go about it, right? And they both work fine. So let's quickly go there. So to this document, we can also do okay, let's pick a new font here. So I'm going to do Times New Roman here. I'm going to pick 12 as well. Okay. All right. So here I'm going to do Carl QX. All right. And also I'm going to put in my phone number again. So 123. Okay. So you can see my phone number, and I'm going to put in my email address. Okay, and then I'm going to put in my linkedin.com/in/callqx, and that's it. So this is also another way to put in the header and contact information. This is simple and neat and nice. Again, if you want to put in the line, you press the 3 dashes and then you push enter, and then it's going to format it this way. Okay. You can bold or format the name as you wish, but this is quite neat and simple. All right. Now, for the next section, we're going to put in the professional summary, not an objective statement, the professional summary. Okay. Now, many newcomers add an objective statement saying things like looking for an opportunity to grow my skills in a dynamic environment. Everybody wants that. Okay. The problem is that it's vague, it's generic, and doesn't tell employers anything useful. Okay, let's be real. Employers don't care about what you want. Okay, they want to know what you bring to the table. So that's why you should write a professional summary instead of an objective statement. So use an objective statement. It's usually one that's like 2 to 3 sentences long. It's at the top of your resume, just after a header, that highlights your years of experience, your key skills, and a major achievement or specialization. Okay, so we're going to go back to my first resume. We're going to put in a professional summary for this person in IT. Okay, so let's go back to that. Now, so for the professional summary, we're going to put in something like results driven. Let's put a dash there. Software engineer with 5+ years of experience in full stack development, expertise in Java, Python, and cloud computing with a track record of improving system performance by 40%. So I'm reading from my laptop, right? And then passionate about building scalable applications and optimizing back-end processes. All right, so as you can tell, this is pretty neat. Highlights the years of experience and the expertise that you're bringing on board, right? So don't write that objective statement. You're seeking a position in the software development where I can contribute my skills and grow professionally. Don't write those things, okay? Those are outdated. Nobody needs that now, all right? So we can also go to my to the other resume and try to put in a professional summary for the person in healthcare as well, right? So I'm going to just switch to the other resume, all right? So here we can put a professional summary. We can say that, assuming this person is a nurse, we can say registered nurse with 6 years of experience in acute care and emergency response, skilled in patient triage, electronic medical records, EMR, and infection control, proven ability to enhance patient outcomes and lead interdisciplinary teams. All right, so as you can see, it is also very much concise and neat as well. Going straight to the point, highlighting your skills and the years of experience that you bring in on board. Okay, so do not write a vague and generic objective statement. Okay, even with a professional summary, do not let it be vague. Okay, let it be straight to the point, and let it highlight your strengths. Okay. All right, now one thing you can do here is you can press enter, and here you can write the professional summary as a heading. And then when we go back here, we can do the same thing here and write professional summary. Okay. All right, so we're on our way to drafting a very simple yet effective resume. Okay, now on the next section, what we are going to do is to put in some skills. Okay, now the question has been asked that do you need to put in the skills before the work experience or after the work experience? Okay, now in most cases, it's better to list all your skills after your work experience, but there are exceptions depending on the job that you're applying for and the specific format of your resume. Now, here's what I mean. Now, if you have less work experience, all right, in the field that you're applying for, or if you're transitioning to a new industry, like in the case of some newcomers, putting the skills first can help highlight your capabilities and make you stand out to employers. Okay, so that's one advantage. If your skills are very specialized or highly relevant to the role, for example, software development, data analysis, or technical expertise, listing them at the top can grab the attention of recruiters who are scanning for specific competencies. Okay, now in some cases where you are going to put the skills after the work experience, that is, if you have strong and relevant work experience in the field you're applying to, then it's generally better to list your work experience first. Okay, so this way the employer can immediately see your job history and how you've applied your skills in real world situations. Okay, so that's just the difference right there. And we are going to do that for the resumes that we're working on. So in for example, the IT resume that we're creating now, we're just going to put some technical skills and we're going to put them before the work experience, right? But for the other one, we'll wait till after the work experience and then we'll put in the skills. Okay. All right. So now let's put in some technical skills. So again, to put in the line, you can press 3 dashes, press enter, and then we do technical skills. Okay. Now, for technical skills, you can just list them as bullet points, straight to the point. Okay, so for example, for this person in IT, we can say, oh, pardon me, we need to put in the bullets. All right, so we can say for programming languages, Python, Java, SQL. Okay, we're just putting in a few. For frameworks and tools, we can say that he React.js, Node.js, and Docker. And then for cloud and DevOps, we can also say that this person has AWS. So those are the skills that we are listing, right? Terraform, and then okay, right? And then for databases, you can say MySQL, Post. Okay, all right, so I think this is quite okay. Let me see if I just, yep, so this is quite okay. You can put this here, so you can see that for technical skills, this is pretty straight to the point, just bullet points. All right, just keeping it clean and simple. That's the goal. Okay, now after the technical skills, we now move to work experience. Okay, work experience, and we're going to talk about how to structure your work experience. Right now, there's some key rules that you need to keep in mind. First of all, make sure you use the reverse chronological format. That is your most recent job first. Okay, your most recent job first. Now, clearly list your job title, company name, and dates. Don't miss that. Okay, job title, company name, and dates. And then use bullet points to describe your achievements, not just duties, right? Don't just list the duties. We're going to demonstrate that, okay? And then quantify your impact, okay? Show what impact you had at your previous job or the current job, okay? So that is very important to keep in there. So again, we're going to keep drafting our resume, and at the end, hopefully it comes out well, okay? So for work experience, for this person in IT, we're going to put in a couple of jobs, and then a couple of, job duties as well, right? So again, we can push enter, remove that bullet point, 3 dots, press enter, and then we have a new section. So here we write work experience, okay? Now, like I said, we're going to be using bullet points, but first of all, we're going to list the job title, the company name, and then the dates, right? So the job title, this person was a software engineer, right? At the company name is ABC Tech, right? This company was located in Toronto. We have to put in the province as well. And then the dates. So most recent job first. So assuming this person started this job from, let's say 2020, let's say 2019 to present, right? He's still here. Now we're going to list some of the duties he performed there. So we put the bullet points. Just make sure your bullets are aligned. Okay. So if we pulled this one all the way back, let's just pull this one back as well. Okay. Okay, let me see. Let's try this again. Oh, okay. Or we can just use this to put it back. Yeah. Okay, so for some of the duties, you can say developed a web app that increased customer engagement by 40%. Okay, that's the first one. Second, we can say reduced system downtime by 25% by optimizing back end processes. Okay, always check for your full stops and everything, right? Just proofread whatever. So let's put our full stops. And the next one, we can say led a team of 5 developers. So you see this highlights your leadership skills. So led a team of 5 developers to successfully deliver a project ahead of schedule. And then we can also say implemented a new security protocol that reduced vulnerabilities by 30%. All right, full stop. Now, if you've been paying attention, you can see that this work experience is quantifying your impact, the impact you had, right? So you developed a web app that increased customer engagement by 40%. That's the impact you had at that workplace. And this is what employers want to see. So do not just list your duties at the previous job, right? I was responsible for this. I was responsible for that. I was responsible for that. And you just leave it there. Okay. No, just state the impact you had and quantify it, right? It helps to put things in perspective. Okay. So this is, the current job. And then let's just put in one more, job before this. Okay. So remember, we're going from the most current to the oldest, right? So, delete this and then we'll say junior software developer. Okay, so I have my notes on my laptop, so if I'm looking down a little bit, just bear with me, all right? Okay, and then this was at XYZ Solutions, right? And then this is also was in Toronto, ON. All right, and this was from 2017 to 2019, right? That's it. Now, again, make sure that you quantify your impact at this place, right? So bullet points again, you can use this to decrease the indent. So you take it back or you can drag it, right? So you can say assisted in building. Okay, made a mistake here. CRM system that streamlined customer interactions for 50 plus clients, right? So that's the first one. You're quantifying your impact, okay? Optimized database queries, okay? Improving app response time by 20%, okay? By 20%, okay? So if it's underlined, make sure you always proofread, like I said. Next one, you can say collaborated with cross-functional team. So this also shows that you're capable of teamwork, right? To design, user interface, so UX, boosting retention by 15%. Okay, make sure you put a full stop. Let's put in one more. You can say Europe unit and integration tests, reducing post deployment bugs, right, by 35%. There you go. So as you can see, these work experiences are listed very well, straight to the point, and so far the resume is looking quite good and quite simple. Okay, highlighting your strengths, highlighting your impact at your your previous workplaces as well. Now, like I said, we're drafting 2 resumes. Okay, so I'm going to quickly jump over to the other one, and we're going to put in a few work experience details there as well, so that we see how both of them will go, right? So let's jump over. So here we have the professional summary of this person in healthcare, and then we're just going to list a few work experience information here, and then continue with the resume. All right, so again, do this, 3 dashes, press enter, and you have your line. Okay, drawing the line can also work, but that's just a lot of work. You put in 3 dashes, press enter, and Word is formatted that way to just insert the line when you do that. Okay, now other people can also decide that here after the professional summary, they're going to put in another line so it looks this way, right? And then keep it this way. Now that's up to you. If you want to use this format, that's fine. So you have your professional summary and you have the rest of that, right? All right, so we can do work experience. Okay, now let's use this other design. So we have work experience that way. Now we're going to list our bullet points for work experience. Again, we can decrease the indent. All right, it's up to you. That doesn't really matter, right? So first of all, we're going to put in the job title. So sorry, let's delete this before the bullet point. So registered nurse, okay, at XYZ hospital. Okay, this was in, let's say, Vancouver in BC, and then this was from 2020 to present. Okay, now we're going to put in the work experience, the actual duties. Okay, so we can say, oh, okay, I clicked. Okay, so managed care for 30 plus patients daily, ensuring 98% patient satisfaction. So even from this first one, you can see that we're quantifying the impact this person has, right, at the previous workplace. Okay, let's put in your full stop. Let's go to the next one. Trained 10 plus new nurses on emergency procedures, improving response time, full stop. And then we can say assisted in implementing a new electronic medical records system to streamline patient documentation. As you can see, this is quantifying the impact. Simple, straight to the point, right? Don't just list the duties you had there. Again, I need to really stress that. Okay, now let's put in one more. You can say collaborated. And again, as you can see, as I said previously, this is also highlighting one way or the other your other skills, right? Your teamwork, your leadership, all those things are being highlighted in how you frame your work experience duties. Okay, so let's put in one more. This collaboration shows your teamwork. So collaborated with multidisciplinary team. Okay, so I made a mistake here. Just correct that. Okay, to develop personalized treatment plans, reducing readmission rates by 25%. Full stop, right? And then we're good to go. So now we can move on to the next work experience. So for this, if you press enter twice, it will delete that bullet point, right? So again, we're going to put in another one. before this particular work experience, right? So job title, you were a staff nurse. Again, shift / would give you this bar that I just put in there. It was at ABC Community Clinic. Okay, and then we put, let's say this was in Calgary, Alberta. Okay, and this was from, let's say, 2018 to 2020. Okay, simple. Now for the dates, some choose to put in the month, like shorten. So the January, they put JAN 2018. And 2020, they'll probably, if it's December or if it's March 2020, they're going to put JAN 2018 to MAR 2020. That's up to you, right? It doesn't really change anything. So for staff nurse, your duties there, again, we put in our bullet points. We decrease the indent. I like to have my bullet points aligned with the rest of the text, right? That's why I'm doing that. So we can say provided direct patient care to 20 plus patients daily, right? Focusing on chronic disease management. All right, put a full stop. Always proofread. Okay, always proofread. Okay, I didn't mean to zoom in, so let's just zoom out again. All right. Okay, and the next one we can say conducted health education workshops, right? Improving community awareness of preventive care. Full stop. Okay, always proofread. You can see I'm always going back to correct the mistakes in each sentence. It's better to do that as you go. If you say I'm going to do that after, that's also fine. Just make sure you don't miss any. Okay, so the third one we can say assisted the doctors in minor surgical procedures. Okay, ensuring 100% compliance with safety protocols. Okay, and let's put in one more. Led a team, so this is also showing your leadership skills in infection control measures, reducing hospital acquired infections by 15%. Okay, all right. Again, make sure you make a correction. So come here, make these procedures. All right, so we've drafted work experience. So the more work experience you have, you just have to keep adding. And this looks pretty good, right? Nice and simple. This for the person in healthcare, and then when we move over to the person in IT, we also have this as well. And you can see these are all pretty neat and simple. Okay, now here you can choose to add any key achievements and contributions where applicable. All right, so under a certain work experience, you can type key contributions, put a colon, and then type whatever key contribution you really want to highlight. Okay, that's relevant to the job you're applying for. And any key contributions as well, you can put those under this section. Okay, also under this section, you are free to put in volunteer work. Okay, but don't just type it in under work experience. Just press enter, have a line for volunteer work. Actually, let's just do that, right? We're going to do volunteer work for the tech person, but we're going to leave it for the healthcare person. Okay, I just want to demonstrate how you can format the CV, format the resume both ways. Okay, so let's press enter twice, put in the 3 dots, press enter. Now we're done. So we can put in volunteer work. Some can say volunteer experience, right? Whichever you want to do. Now let's put in just one. Okay, so the volunteer experience or the volunteer work is usually formatted like the work experience. Okay, so again, you put in the title, so tech mentor. All right, again, it was at Canada, let's say Canada New Commerce coding boot camp. All right, and then you can put in the, if it's something that you're still doing, right, you can say it's from 2021 to present. That's it, right? Put in a few duties there. Make sure all your bullet points are aligned. Okay, it's very, very important. Now, so you can say what you do there, right? Because it's present. So you conduct free coding workshops for newcomers to help them transition into the Canadian tech industry. Okay, my typing is rusty. Okay. Now you can also say provided, right? Resume coaching, and okay, we missed something here, and mock interview, sessions, not questions, sessions to assist in job placement. Okay, so you can go on and on if you have more to list. I just want us to put 2 here so we can see how to add in volunteer work experience. Okay, all right, now the next important section that we're going to put in is your education and certification. Okay, so if you have any education and certifications, we're going to put this in the next section. We're almost done, so please stay tuned. If you've liked the video so far, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Now let's put in the education and certifications. Okay, and we're going to do that for the other person as well. So press enter twice to remove the bullet point. 3 dashes, press enter, and then we have our line. So we put in education, and you can just put in the sign certifications, right? And then press enter. Now we're going to also put this in bullet points. Okay, so the format that you can use here is you can list the degree name, you can list the name of the university after that, and then the year. Okay, now you don't necessarily need to list your high school certificates as well. Okay, if you've completed high school, that's obvious if you have a degree, right? So unless it's something you need to explain, but I would say just skip high school and list your bachelor's or your tertiary qualifications, right? So let's do that. And then in this section as well, you are going to include your relevant certifications, especially for the regulated professions, and especially for IT, where we have those certifications that you can take, right? So you can put this in here, but let's demonstrate that. All right, so here we're going to put in the name of the degree. So first of all, we're going to say Bachelor of Computer Science, right? The name of the university is University of Toronto. And then when did you finish? It was in 2018. Simple, right? Now, if you graduated with honors, or there are certain specializations you want to highlight, you can do that here, right? So let's just say we want to do that, right? And then we can press enter at the bullet point, make sure we make it align with the rest of them, and we can say graduated with honors. Okay, and then we can also say specialized in machine learning and data structures. All right, simple. That's if you want to add this here, right? It's not very necessary, but if you want to do that, that's also allowed. So that's for the first one. Again, you press your enter twice to remove the bullet point, and then we go to the next one, push enter again, and your certifications, right? You can say certified Scrum Master, right? If you have that, into bracket CSM, and then you got this in 2022, all right? So again, you can leave this as is, or you can, add a bullet points if there's something about this certification that you want to highlight. But I'm going to leave this as is, right? Okay, so another mistake most people do is adding irrelevant or outdated certifications. Okay, so especially in the IT field, there are certain certifications that expire. If it's expired, and you're not ready to renew it and all of that, then just think twice about adding it here, right? Or just make sure it's updated before you actually add it in. So this is for education and certifications for this person in IT. We're going to move quickly over to the other person in healthcare and add some education and certifications as well, right? So again, push enter once, push it twice, this goes away, 3 dashes, we press enter, and then we have our line, right? And then we're going to put in education and certifications, right? So here we want to keep that same formatting, so we press 3 dashes, press enter, so it keeps that in a very nice format for us. Now, so for this person in healthcare, we're going to put in a number of certifications as well, and a number of degree, 1 degree qualification as well. Okay, so for the person in healthcare, we're going to add in the education and certifications as well. So we can say Bachelor of Nursing or Bachelor of Science, right? Let's say Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Okay, and this was at McGill University, and this was in 2015. Simple and nice. And also they have CPR and first aid certification. This was done in 2023. As you can see, I forgot to put in the bullet points. I'm just going to come here, put in the bullet, reduce the indent, and do that for the next section as well, right? So this is neat and simple. So we're done with education and certifications. All right, now we're almost at the end of the resume creation, so please stay tuned. If you like the video so far, please hit the like button, and also remember to subscribe as well. Now at the very end, if you remember, we put in the skills and some technical skills for the person in IT at the beginning, and then we said that, I'm just going to scroll up here so you can see that. So we have the technical skills up here, and then we explained why you can put it up top, or you can choose to put it after work experience, right? Now for this person in healthcare, we're going to put the skills after the work experience, right? Now for skills, you don't want to put in stuff like, team player, like compassionate, fast learner. Those things are not really important right now. And as you remember, while we're writing the work experience, we try to put some of those things in there, right? So you highlighted those strengths in how you formatted your work experience. So you don't need to use up space stating those things again, right? So make sure they're technical and related to the job, and make sure that the skills that you're going to list are also ATS friendly, something that is included or found in the job description, right? So you look at the job you're applying for and you look at the skills that they want, it should be something that you have, and you find a way to word it, right? So here for the person in healthcare, we're just going to switch over, then we're going to press enter twice. Okay, we're going to put our 3 dashes, and then we're going to put skills. Okay, and then press enter with our 3 dashes. All right, so here we go. We're going to put just a few skills here, and then we're almost at the very end. Okay, now one of the things that you can list, again, bullet points, keep it simple, make sure your bullets are aligned. So one of the things you can put here, you can put patient care. All right, you can put, electronic medical records, EMR. You can put something like triage assessment. You can put infection control. Now you can lump up a number of them on one line, right, with a comma, right? So you can say infection control, IV therapy. You can say clinical decision making, right? So let's put that in as well. Okay, so very simple, very neat, and as you can see, our resume is coming out pretty nice and just neat and professional. Okay, no fancy fonts and all of that, right? So we are almost at the very end. I mean, after you've put in the skills, after you've put in the work experience, education, and certifications, you're almost at the end of your resume. Now, as you can see, after we've typed in all of this, we are still, for the person in healthcare, we are still on one page. Now, when we move over to the person in IT, we can see that we are now on the second page. So if you have more skills, you can add that. If you have more work experience, you can add that. Just make sure they're relevant to the job you are applying for. Okay. Now, one section that is missing from both resumes is the section on references. Now, should you put in your references? No, that's a simple answer. Employers assume that you have references, and you should have references. How can you be applying for jobs if you don't have any references? Okay, so make sure you have references because employers assume that you have references. Okay, so and they expect you to provide those references only when they request for them. So that will be done typically after the interview when you're about to receive an offer. Okay, so make sure you don't take up valuable space with that information about your references. Okay, so your resume again should be ideally 1 to 2 pages. Keep it concise, focus on your skills and experience. Listing those references can take up space. Another thing is that do not put in references as a section and then you write under that references available upon request. Don't do that. Okay, it's not necessary, right? So it's outdated. Like I said, they assume that you provide the references if they ask you. And of course, you're going to do that, right? If they ask you for references, you're going to say that I did not write that I have references on my resume, so no references, right? Of course, you're not going to get the job if you do that. So they assume you have that, right? And one very important reason why you should not put the references is that it protects the privacy of those references, right? So sharing the contact details of your references on resume could lead to, privacy breaches and unsolicited emails and calls, right? Because you have their information there, name, contact info, email, blah, blah, blah. You could fall into the wrong hands, trust me, okay? So it's better to wait until the employer specifically asks for them, right? So you can leave that references section out. All right, so now before we go, just go over your resume one last time. Now, if you look at the main sections, you can go in there and, increase, just make the main sections a little bit bold. You can underline them as well. Now, this is what I mean. So if you come right here to the professional summary, you can make this bold. You can underline it as well, so it stands out and it's clear. Some can just choose not to, underline it, right? And then technical skills, you can make that bold as well. You can make work experience bold. You can make, make this bold. Actually, let's underline this, right? So you underline these, work experience, and then you scroll down to volunteer work. make it bold and underline. Education and certifications, bold and underline. And then that's it. We're good to go. Right now for this, you just go over a few things, make sure the formatting is done well, so you can actually do this and increase the indent of the ones underneath it, right? You can just change the bullet styling for those, right? Good. And then here, make sure you put in the bullet as well. Okay, so this is pretty much neat and simple. When we scroll up, wow, just neat and simple. Okay, so this is just a simple resume that you can do. Doesn't need to be fancy, doesn't need to have those fancy fonts and all of that, right? And borders and this simple, straight to the point, and very, very professional. Now we'll move over to the other resume as well. You can choose to make the name bold, increase the font maybe to 14, right? And for the various sections, you can choose to make it bold as well. So professional summary, work experience, make these bold. When it comes to education and certifications, you can make this bold as well. When it comes to skills, you can make this bold. Actually, you can also make these skills and competencies, right? So it depends on you. Whatever you want to put there, that should be fine. So you have a neat, very simple, professional one-page resume, right? And this is straight to the point, can easily be read by the ATS system. Now, before we go, there are a number of resume mistakes, common ones that I want you to keep in mind, okay? First of all, do not add any photo, okay? Do not add any photo. It could get you rejected by the ATS system, which means that no human being is even going to see your resume, okay? Do not use a generic resume for all job applications. Don't do that, right? So you have one resume like we just formatted. You're sending this same one for every job that you see. Come on, you need to format it a bit. Do a little bit more work, okay? Now, you can see also in the work experience sections that we kept it short, bullet points that are straight to the point, right? Don't just put long paragraphs. Those are not really necessary, okay? So do not write long paragraphs. Keep it simple with the bullet points, and make sure that you always tailor a resume with the relevant key words, okay? And also do not bother to put in any outdated certifications or skills or experiences that don't really relate to the job that you're applying for, okay? All right, so again, before we leave, one thing that I want you to do, some final touches, right? Bonus points. Always make sure that your resume is number 1 to 2 pages. Keep it simple. It's very important, okay? For your work experience, list quantifiable achievements. Make sure your resume is ATS friendly, okay? Proofread for errors. I've said that over and over in this video, so make sure you're proofreading for any errors. And when you're done and everything is okay, save the PDF. Save your resume as a PDF unless otherwise stated. Now, the reason is because a PDF would maintain the format that you just created, okay? So save a PDF. Bonus tips, well, if you have a LinkedIn profile, just keep it updated. But the most important thing, remember that 80% of jobs come from connections and not job boards, okay? 80% of jobs come from connections and not job boards. All right, so make sure you network as well. So if this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with others. And let me know in the comment section what's your biggest resume challenge, and I'll try to respond and give you personalized advice as well. Now, thank you for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.